Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today we are going to remove two stumps, but we have some challenges on this one. We have an electric and we have I believe the cable wire is going almost directly underneath the stump. So good times for that. Let's take a look and see what we have and see what we're gonna do and how we're gonna try to avoid ripping these lines out of the ground. I'm not terribly worried about the electric because it should be at least 18 inches down, should be. But the cable wires, man, they usually are like right below the surface. So we're gonna try and hand dig a little. Let's take a look. All right, here we go. There's the stump. And here is our communication electric wires, and they go here, and they go right there, and they go right there, and they go right around the stump. But as you can see, we have requested to remove all of these big roots sticking up everywhere. So we pretty much have to go right over these. So we're gonna hand dig a little bit and see if we can find some of these wires or see like how deep they are, because this stump is mounted up pretty good. I'm gonna say it's probably at least 12 inches above grade to the bottom of it. So let's talk a little bit about the stump grinding business and the dirt work business. This is a little new to us. You know, we started out as a lawn service, cutting lawns, and kind of ventured into these types of jobs. I saw this going on somewhere and I'm like, you know, I really think that's a cool business to get into. And it is, don't get me wrong, I love it. Challenges that you're gonna come across, first of all, is finding the work. You really have to network. You got to get out there. You got to meet your local tree companies. You know, you see them working somewhere. Find a good time. Introduce yourself. That's how I got this job, actually. From someone cutting some trees in a local area. You know, find out what tree companies don't offer stump grinding or subcontract their stump grinding out. So that's just some of it. You know, you could do bulk advertisement, mailers, things like that work. But I tell you, getting your foot into a new part of a business has its challenges. If you've seen some of my other videos, this was not our first stump grinder. We started out with a smaller machine, thinking that we were gonna conquer the business with that, and that's not how it worked out. Stump grinding 101. You never have enough power and the machine's never big enough. That's just basically how it goes. So you have to kind of figure out how you can get the biggest machine in your budget. That's just one. So we ended up with this Vermeer SC48. This machine is a beast. It really does a great job. It's versatile. You can move it around. You know, we went with the track machine. Pros and cons to tracks, because they do rip up and damage some stuff, but the maneuverability is really great. Gosh, you know, this is like that Ford and Chevy thing. Like, what's the best stump grinder? You're gonna have people who are gonna be like, oh, you should buy this one or that one. Or let me tell you what, the best stump grinder is the one you can afford and the one that has the best dealer support. I can't stress enough about dealer support, because the dealer that I bought this grinder from has been beyond great. And let me tell you, I don't care if it's a brand new machine, there's always going to be some kind of problems and some breakdowns and some hiccups, you know. We had several problems with the remote. We worked it out. On this particular job right here, I'm telling you, this is one of those days where I questioned everything. Yes, we did rip the cable wire out of the ground because it's almost inevitable. That was number one. Number two, something happened with the relay on the machine. It wouldn't start halfway in the middle of the job. We had to start it with a screwdriver, call the dealer. We ended up figuring it out that it was a relay. Not a big deal, but the support from the dealer made a big difference. I'll show you a picture later. We broke our 3-point lift on our John Deere tractor. It dropped the Harley rake right in the middle of the yard. The tractor broke. I was just like, oh my God, how am I going to fix this? So, problems, boy, you get them. They come left and right. Fortunately, we did not rip the electrical wire out of the ground. That's the good news. This job worked out. It came out great. You'll see in the end. I have the whole start to finish here. It was a good money job, but man, the challenges were there. Everybody thinks like it's so easy, and it's like your truck, your trailer, I can't move the stump grinder and the John Deere tractor on the same trailer because, they're big machines. So that's 2 trips out. This was a 2-day job. I was up until 10:30, 11 o'clock at night fixing my 3-point lift that I broke. All kinds of challenges happen, But you either love this kind of thing or you don't. It's in your blood or it's not. Anybody that thinks it's going to be easy or they have it planned out, like I'm going to do this and it's going to work out, best of luck to you. Endless challenges will come with these types of businesses. And the bigger equipment that you have, the more problems you're going to have. The more equipment you have, the more problems you're going to have. My focus with this is to be able to, I'm a solo operator with a helper. That's pretty much how we run. So my focus is to have tools and equipment that can help me do the job easier, faster, and more efficient. I'm not interested in having a crew of people. I just kind of want to do it all myself, So here, this was, day 1. This is right before the 3-point hitch broke. I had a situation where the Harley rig kind of fell on the trailer while we were moving it. Anyway, that's really not what the video is about, but we got it fixed. We got it done. A mini skid steer probably would have been great, especially for these little cleanups. But we have the tractor, and pros and cons to that, because the tractor, you have the Harley rake on the back end, you have the bucket on the front, so it's a little more versatile. It's bigger, but it works great. We were able to remove this material into the woods behind this gentleman's house, so we didn't have to haul it away, which was pretty cool, because that's just a whole nother thing. But yeah, we got the material all knocked down. We got it removed. I think we brought 7.5 yards of screen topsoil for this one, and it came out pretty good. I would have really liked to get it more level in the end, but like I said, we did rip the cable wire out, and it's more the cable company coming out, they'll replace the line, but it's more of an inconvenience to the homeowner. Especially these particular homeowners, they both work from home, so having the internet is really important, and it's kind of embarrassing because it makes it look like you don't know what you're doing, even though it's like one of those situations you really can't avoid. The cable wire is 2 inches under the dirt, Like I said, even with the Harley rake later, I was really just nervous because we had already repaired the line, and I sure as heck didn't want to rip it out again, But, like I said, the list of challenges come, the more you want to do, the more equipment, the bigger the job. Like I said, those are just some of the challenges that go with it. But I am very happy with this business. I think it's been probably maybe 3-4 months now that we've kind of gotten serious into the stump grinding and removal, dirt work. I call it dirt work. I don't know. You know, it's bringing in the topsoil and planting grass. It's been pretty good so far. You know, you have your weather challenges too. The bigger areas that you're planting grass is a little challenging. This particular job was in September. Great time of year to do that. But, you know, in June, July, when it's 100 degrees out and you're trying to, I don't care how much you water the grass, it's going to burn out, you know. So here we're just kind of playing around. I still have the grinder because no matter how you grind, you're always going to come out with a spot that you missed. That's why going over it with a bucket like this is really good, because if there's pieces of stump that you missed, you're going to find them. It'll pretty much stop the tractor in its tracks. So that's just pretty much what I'm doing now, is I'm just grading, scraping, see if there's anything left. And there was a couple of spots. We went right back in with the grinder, found them easily. I put everything in a line like that, and it's easy to pick up. Now here we dumped our first load of topsoil, and the Harley rake is a new investment, new to us investment. I can't even stress how fantastic this tool is. It's just amazing. It does so much work. It levels things out so great. Absolutely fantastic tool. Used it on a few other jobs, and you know, every time you use it, it's like so impressive. Like, wow, why did it take me so long to get this tool? But you know, that's probably because it costs a lot of money. Anyway, going at it here, I think we did, like I said, 3 truckfuls. My truck usually holds about 2.5 yards safely. But this levels it out. Like I said, 2 days. 1 day to grind it out. 2nd day, leveled out all the dirt. There was another smaller stump on the side of this house. I didn't think I catch much video of it, but we did that one also. It was in sort of a landscape bed, so we didn't have to do the topsoil and all that other stuff. But yeah, the rake is great. Almost does all the work. Depending on the area you are, we did rake it out because this is like right center their front yard, between the driveway and the walkway to the front door. So we wanted it to be as perfect as possible. I would have liked, like I said before, to had gone down deeper with the Harley rake, but I was really just afraid of ripping that stupid cable wire out again. I did not want that to happen. So this just spreads most of it out, and then like I said, we dumped more over there. We got it done. It came out fantastic. Customer was super happy in the end, as you could see here. And you know, now we're just going to wish for some rain. Anyway, that's a little of our story. Thanks for watching.